We crossed the border late the previous evening and were lucky enough to find some private land that allowed us to set up camp for the night. Our host was incredibly welcoming, fed us a hearty breakfast in the morning and sent us on our way with some great local knowledge of off-road routes. Spirits were really high within the group and we all felt the real adventure was about to start. Our destination for the day was Zeljava Air Base, situated on the border between Croatia and Bosnia, near the city of Bihać. But armed with some local knowledge, we wanted to get off-road for the first time on this trip.
Slow down.
What initially started off as a really good track started to close in on us. We were having to watch each other around obstacles, mainly rocks protruding from the track.
Bit of gas. Back a bit. Watch the Go forward, Greg. Rev, rev, rev. More revs, mate, more revs. More gas, more gas.
And just when you think you've got past most of the obstacles, the inevitable happens.
Right, so we're here in, where are we? What country
Croatia.
are we? We're in Croatia. Right, Croatia. So what we've done is, last night we camped at a lovely site with some locals, and they advised us to come down this track as an off-road track to come down to an old nuclear Air Force base. So what's happened is, as we're going along, I don't know if this comes across down here very well, there's a lot of rocks in the track. What's happened is one of the guys has had a bit of an accident where he's not seen a rock poking up through some vegetation, and it's actually squarely hit the front axle at a little bit of speed. And just down here you can see it's stoved in the front diff casing a little bit, and it's pierced it, so it's just leaking out at the moment. So what we're doing is we're just about to drain the oil for it, and we have a couple of little repair ideas. So what this is, this came from Ward Commercials. This is off of Stu's shelf, but it's a good bit of kit. And basically what it is it's an epoxy resin, an E-metal. So what this stuff does is it's you mix two chemicals together, an activator and a compound, and it forms basically a metal, right, that bonds in with the metal around the hole. So what we're hoping is that we can mix some of this up, put it all on the diff casing. Once we've drained the oil out, cleaned it up with a bit of thinners and other bits and pieces, apply the compound, allow it to set, and it should be, in theory, just as strong as the original. Luckily we caught this early, because if this had have drained the oil out all the way down to wherever we're going, potentially the diff could have run out of oil and destroyed itself. All the bearings and the gears and whatnot destroyed itself, and that would have been us without a front axle. So another thing that we've done, just to make doubly sure, is Anthony, one of our expedition guys, he's been round all the other vehicles. Well done, Ant. He's been around all the other vehicles to make sure none of them have had a knock. They're all right, aren't they, Ant? Yeah,
a couple of them have had scrapes.
Yeah, so we've had a couple of scrapes. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit and have a little bit of a driver's brief, go through a couple of do's and don'ts with the off-road with the lads, and hopefully we won't have this again. The what?
Lotus position.
Is that right?
No, I believe.
So tell us what happened. Going off quite.
So you mix the two parts together, equal parts of like A and B. So you've got a base and an activator, and it causes an exothermic reaction, which is and it basically builds a heat between the two, because one acts as a catalyst, and that aids it to go off. If you look down in the bottom of the old bottle that we've cut off there, it's right by there, you can see what obviously it looks like after the two parts have been mixed together, and that's what Mac is now pushing up into the hole where we had the damage.
Now this is what the British Army using, is it?
Yeah. Okay, this is very similar to what is done on the BDR course, or what the battle damage repair course, and what is taught throughout the whole of the British Army. I used to do this and run a stand on this when I was in the army and show how repairs can be made to sides of axle casings, gearboxes, even engines, and it will actually make either a temporary repair, or if it's good enough, even a permanent repair for the rest of the life of whatever that part was part of the vehicle.
Don't forget, it is a colour sergeant's skill that levitation is part of the issue kit.
Exactly.
One of the advantages.
Usually I'm on foot.
I
thought you meant past the buck is part of their fucking kit.
All of his smell of cinnamon.
Hey, Sean. Past the buck. Yeah, it wasn't me. I'm a colour sergeant. Exactly. It rolls downhill, doesn't it? Yeah. It's never me.
This stuff, it turns into pretty much steel. At the moment, it's in kind of a dried out putty sort of state, so like very dry Play-Doh. So I've been using the stick as like a rolling pin to try and just smooth it out, so we don't have any bits that might catch and crack it and roll it off. But given that the hole that we sustained is about as long as my thumbnail here across, so probably about 15 millimeters, about 2-3 millimeters wide at the most. Because with this stuff, you get basically a handful, and you can't just use a bit at a time. You've got to use the packet, because once it's open, it'll go off. So we've had to use a lot. So what I've done is I've good and proper coated the diff in the area that we've had the problem, and hopefully you can just see the edges of it up here. The damage is actually here, but I've gone all the way to the back of the diff pan, all the way up the side, and I've spread it out nice and thick along the area of the damage. And you can just see, it probably doesn't come across very well, but it's only just sticky and soft. It's the exothermic reaction has taken hold, and the glue and the chemicals inside of it are now turning solid. So hopefully this has repaired the leak. I'm pretty sure it has. We're going to have to figure out how to fill it back up with oil through this plug, and then we'll be back on the road.
While repairs were being done, we sent a couple of guys down the track to see what the track was like further on.
Slow down, nice and slow.
Once again, the mechanics had worked their wonders and got us back on the road. We made the decision to turn around and head back the way we'd come in. We cleared the route through the woodland to make it easier for us to turn around the vehicles, and headed on back down the track.
Nice and slow. Stop there and forward.
With a piece in my hand and bloodshot eyes, I walked to the water for a last goodbye. He begged so much, it clouded my mind. One thing's clear, the man's gotta die. It makes right, so he said, when he held all the keys over our head. I lived in that grip, but now he'll learn at the end with the tables turned. Lord, forgive me, take me on down the river where the guilt can't find a red-handed sinner, on where the grave can't cry out, 'cause I done wrong. Down the river with a hand on a Colt and a finger on the trigger, and long before dawn they try to find me. So take me on down. Take me on down. Well, I sank that body by the riverbank, caught a boat sap, took off like a hurricane, with spotlights, dogs, yeah, the whole 9 yards, of breathing down my neck and breathing hard. 2 weeks in a wild chase across the highways, mountains, over 7 states. Found a man at the harbor, said that he could take me across the ocean somewhere far away. Lord, forgive me, take me on down the river where the guilt can't find a red-handed sinner, on where the grave can cry. I done wrong, down the river with a hand on a Colt and a finger on the trigger, and long before dawn they try to boarding planks now, staring down a barrel at point blank range. I make for the water, jumping off the ledge, but not before I catch two to the chest. Now there's blood and water filling up my lungs, blood and water filling up my lungs. My heart is beating like a fading drum. Lord forgive me, here I come. Take me